Hello and welcome. Today we've got something simple for you. So sit down, stick around, and enjoy. Hello and welcome to a video here, special video. As you know, this week, for those of you who actually are wrestling fans, I'm a wrestling fan. We had a chance to see the supposed new Monday Night Wars. Just pretty much we got to see WWE Raw and TNA go head to head on Monday night. One show versus the other. It's like the old days of WCW versus WWF/WWE. So, here are my thoughts on what I watched. I watched both shows, actually, separately. And, so I'm going to throw out what I think about it. And welcome all your comments. So sit down, stick around, and enjoy. So the first thing I want to talk about here, I'm going to talk about WWE first, and I'll talk about TNA after. WWE, the return of Bret Hart. Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a good show. 12 years in the making. For anybody who's watched wrestling, you've all heard about the Montreal Screwjob. We've all seen the Wrestling with Shadows movie. We've all seen, we've heard a lot about this. We've seen a lot about this. I remember watching the Montreal Survivor Series live when it was on pay-per-view. Actually, I was watching it. And, we all knew Bret Hart was leaving, was going to WCW. Didn't quite know how it was going to pan out, and in the end got screwed over, supposedly by Vince McMahon, ringing the bell, and thus ending Bret Hart's career in WWE. And then followed afterwards, a spitting in the face, a black eye, and all that stuff. I don't have to go through all that. You've heard this a million times. Now, Bret Hart back. So, I basically waited 12 years to see Bret Hart back in the WWE, and 12 years to see the guy actually confront the people that caused the screw job. So, naturally, I'm a little excited. I'm like, okay, Raw, good, Bret Hart comes out, perfect. First of all, Bret Hart comes out. I know he's old, he's getting old, and it's fine. But he really looked like, I don't know, like, he didn't look good at all. Like, he came out and he looked like he was like 90. I don't know what the hell happened there. But, whatever. So when he came out, he looked really old and fragile. Although the second time he came out later on, he did look a lot better. I think somebody makeup backstage said, holy shit, man, get makeup on him. He looks like he's 70. So when he came out later on, he actually looked pretty good. The first time, though, looked kind of scary coming out. Shawn Michaels comes out. So I've been waiting 12 years for this, and what do I get? I basically get a, you know what, I'm not sorry about the screw job. I did what I had to do. And the other guy, and then Bret saying, you know what, you weren't always the guy, the easiest guy to get along with. You had demons. And then shake hands, and that's it, we're friends. Like, it made no sense. I waited 12 years for this? 12 years for this shit? And then Michaels goes to walk away, and it kind of stops, and you think he might give him sweet chin music. He might not. Then he turns around, and then they give each other this hug, this fucked up hug. Because, you can tell, like, Bret Hart's, like, hugging him, like, tapping him, they're both tapping each other, the one-armed hugs. You could tell Bret Hart was, like, extremely uncomfortable hugging Shawn Michaels, and vice versa. They wouldn't be hugging. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's still animosity between these two guys. Putting it off naturally for the camera and whatnot, but just hugging and tapping each other, it looks so fake. And I know wrestling's fake, but you're supposed to make that part of it look real. And it did look real, but not fake, which is supposed to look fake. Not fake in the real sense, but real in the fake sense. Does that make any sense? Who knows? Anyways, so that segment's over. We see him backstage once more with Chris Jericho, which is a pretty funny segment. Let's keep in mind, though, Bret Hart coming out here is the host. The host of Raw, yet did not make one match. Did not make one match. Made no sense. Obviously, he was only there just to play the whole Shawn Michaels and McMahon thing, that's it. Because he wasn't really a host. He should have at least made a match. So the last match, or after last match, I should say, McMahon comes out, Bret Hart comes out, confronts him. You know, they say their little piece one another, and then they're lifting hands, yay, we're all friends again. Then McMahon kicks him in the groin or in the stomach or wherever the foot landed, and then Bret Hart falls down, and then naturally we're going to get this whole angle is going to go on. Who knows, maybe till WrestleMania, till Bret Hart might actually face Vince McMahon in the ring. Okay, nice. McMahon kicked him and all that. It wasn't interesting. 12 years! I've waited 12 years for this shit, man. 12 years! You could have made it so much more interesting. Like, seriously, whoever wrote that, like, needs to be canned. You can write better. I can write better than that. There's so much storyline that could have been told here. First of all, he should have reffed the Jericho match. The Jericho and Big Show match. He should have reffed it. He should have talked to just for people would be thinking, okay, fine, he's going to screw over Shawn Michaels. But no, in the end, he does the right thing. He counts the right count and all that, kind of gaining Michaels' respect. Later on with a confrontation with McMahon, they can bring in Michaels a little bit in here. Maybe able to bring in Randy Orton on McMahon's side. Make something out of this. I don't get it. Anyways. So, just to say, Raw was mediocre at best, and I've waited 12 years to see this Raw. So, that taste didn't really sit too well in my mouth. I did get to watch Impact the next day, TNA Impact, the big return of Hulk Hogan, and I must say, a 3-hour Impact that delivered. I don't care if you're looking at all the old wrestlers that appeared and you're thinking, oh my god, these old guys are back on TV. What are they doing there, you know? It was just fun to see them. And they kept revealing one, they kept going another match, another segment, reveal another one. Love the way they did it. It kept my interest. Raw did not keep my interest. The beginning, I didn't really like it. I had to wait all the way till the end to see another segment I didn't like, which just sucked. But in TNA's case, they kept delivering a really good show, and I'm anxious to see what happens next in TNA. I want to watch the next episode. While Raw, I couldn't care less if I don't watch the next episode. But TNA, I want to see it. Seeing the NWO again in the ring was just beautiful. It was beautiful. And although, I'll tell you something about Hulk Hogan right now. We all know how Hulk Hogan is. The promo that he did with Jeff Jarrett, I don't really get it. Because Hogan came off as a bigger heel than Jarrett came. Jarrett came off like a face, pretty much. But then they said Hogan's supposed to come over as a bigger face. Hogan came over as a super heel. Like, I was watching this, I was looking at it, I was like, what is he? Is he face or heel? I don't get what Hogan is. And, I mean, Hogan's looking at Jarrett and saying, Jeff Jarrett, you know, you're old, you know, the time's up, you know, it's time to give the young people the chance. It's time to give the young people the chance. You know what I mean? Hulk Hogan's giving young people the chance. Like, are you fucking shitting me? Hulk Hogan giving young people a chance? No. Hulkster, you have never, ever in your fucking life given a young person a chance. Okay? You've always been out for you. You know, not that I don't like you. I enjoy watching, especially as a heel. You're fun to watch. But let's face it, man. Just look at what you've done in your career. You don't want a job to anybody. You don't give young people a chance. Jeff Jarrett gave young people a chance when he started TNA. He gave young people a chance. You never gave young people a chance. And if you'd have your way right now, if you were really in charge of TNA, you'd be champion. You'd be the man in charge. You still wouldn't give young people a chance because your ego is too big. Just look at the past. Hulk Hogan was off the record with Michael Landsberg this year, right before he joined TNA, after he announced he was joining and all that. And Michael Landsberg asked him a question today, Hulk Hogan, he said, what is the lowest point or the thing you like to take back in your career in wrestling? And you know what he said? He said, I want to take back the 2 times that I've jobbed, or lost as he called it, to Billy Kidman. That's the only time in his career that he actually laid down for somebody of a smaller stature than him and who was, you know, not a main event. It's the only time he's ever done it, and he says it's the only thing he'd take away. Like, what does that tell you? The guy doesn't give a shit about fucking pinning the small guy over. He doesn't give a shit about that. He cares about himself. That just sealed it. It proved it right there. The only time he's ever done it is the one top thing in his career that he would take away. What does that tell you about Hulk Hogan? And come on now. And he's there saying that about Jarrett. I'm just thinking to myself, are you fucking high? Like, is this the kettle calling the pot black? Like, come on. That's all Hulk Hogan has ever done, is keep people from getting over so that he could stay over. Oh, man. Anyways, so other than those promos where he's promoting that shit, because let's face it, it is shit. At least if he would have came out and said, you know what? The only time he ever said anything was when the NWO was in the ring. He's like, they were like, oh, we're gonna party, Hulk. You know, Scott Hall was half drunk as he always is. We're gonna party, Hulkster, we're gonna party. He's like, yeah, you know, no, we're not gonna party anymore. You know, we're gonna do it right, we're not gonna party, we're gonna do it right. No, the party stuff wasn't really the problem. The problem was keeping all the talent down. And that's nothing that Hulk Hogan admitted to at all on TNA. If he would have came out and said, you know what? I kept top talent down in order for myself to stay elevated and all of my friends to stay elevated. Then I could have respected what he said about wanting to put the small guy over. But he never said that. And we all know Hogan kept everybody under him. That's just the way he worked. Again, that is uninteresting to watch. But you can't go saying that, because it really makes him look like an hypocrite. Now, other than that, it was fun to watch. It was fun to see the NWO back together. Fun to see Eazy-E and Eric Bischoff. That's always good. But another thing too that kind of got to me, is there any one of Hogan's friends that didn't get a job in TNA? Or that didn't get at least like an appearance here in TNA? I mean, Hogan's there, the Nasty Boys are there. Fucking even Bubba the Love Sponge was there. Bubba the Love Sponge. Like, come on now. Going outside talking to fans, Bubba the Love Sponge? Like, I'm not a fan of Bubba the Love Sponge whatsoever. He's just a Hogan... Oh, I don't even know. A Hogan mark, I guess, is what I would call him. I would have put Don West, as annoying as he can be in that position. You know, if you want to interview people outside, at least send him. Bubba the Love Sponge? Seriously? I hope he doesn't stay in TNA, man, because I really don't want to hear him. I guess there is one friend that didn't quite make the roster, or wasn't there in the first inaugural Hogan Impact, and it was Ed Leslie, or some people may know him as Bruce the Barber Beefcake. He wasn't there, and that's actually one of Hogan's best friends, and he's not there, which is kind of funny because everybody else was there. Nasty Boys, Bubba Love Sponge, freaking X-Pac, Scott Hall. I mean, they were all there except for him. Other things that are good to note in there, Jeff Hardy showed up, which was kind of cool, although I'm not a Hardy fan. Still cool to see him there. He apparently caught WWE officials off guard, as they didn't think, or didn't even imagine he was going to go there, because they thought they had an agreement set with him. So that's kind of cool. So that kind of shocked a little bit the wrestling world, I guess, in that retrospect, for people who are fans of him. What else did I like? Well, one bittersweet moment, I guess, of seeing Ric Flair get out of the limo. You know, I love Flair, you know, but it's kind of bittersweet. You see him come out and you're thinking to yourself, you know what? You got the greatest send-off in wrestling history. Nobody has had a send-off like Ric Flair had in WWE. Nobody. No wrestler has. And yet, you know, like, he's basically going to fuck up that by coming out of retirement. You know he's going to. Ric Flair is going to come out of retirement. I don't care if it's in TNA. I don't care if it's in Ring of Honor. It's in Japan. It's in Tokyo. It's in Antarctica. It doesn't matter. The guy's going to come out of retirement because it's what he loves to do. And he's going to do it. So Flair, just get it over with. Do it, have another match, and let's just go. Seriously. And if you're going to feud with anybody in TNA, you know, Sting would be a nice option, you know, because you always had a rivalry with Sting. You know, we saw Sting in the rafters too on Impact. Should be nice, but I would love it much, much more if you can feud. I don't care if you feud in the ring or just off the ring, out of the ring. I just want you to feud with Hogan for a while. Because there was nothing cooler than to hear Flair rip into Hogan. Just gets all red, the eyes come out of his head there. Hogan! He just freaks right out. It was fucking awesome. He argued against Hogan for years before he even faced him, which was great. Love when Flair bashes Hogan. It's the best shit. He cuts his best promos when he's beat red, freaking out on the verge of a stroke, bashing Hogan. There's nothing better. So I hope that happens. And yeah, so I guess overall, TNA definitely held my interest a lot more than Raw did. So kudos to TNA, putting a 3-hour show, just like the old Nitros, and actually delivering a good 3-hour show with some decent matches in there, such as the main event with AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. That was awesome. So very good job. The only thing that I can see TNA might, kind of wonder on is I don't really know how it's going to work yet, or because I haven't really checked. But I heard there were already tapings that have happened this week. So I don't know if they're going to be airing on Thursdays like usual, taped, or if they're actually going to go taped and put it up on Monday night, or I don't think if you really want to compete with the WWE, you have to make it live every week on Monday night. Can't be pre-taped. People go online. People at the shows leak stuff online, and it's not as interesting. I found TNA was fun because I got to see some wrestlers show up there that I had no idea were actually going to be there, which was really nice. And you don't have that kind of, mystique anymore with the internet, and you have it even less. So if you actually take a show and you pre-tape it, because there's even more people that know what's going to happen. We got a full little Orlando stadium there at Universal. All these people know what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. But by far, if we're looking at a Monday Night War here, TNA has thrown the first punch. And I don't care what the ratings say, TNA's product was far superior and more entertaining and kept at least my interest more than the WWE product. So that's it for my little rant on the new Monday Night Wars. So I know I don't make wrestling videos that often, but if I could, I'd just have a camera all the time and I just talk and say what I think about everything. Because I got a lot of shit to say. That'd be a good show. That'd be a good reality TV show, man. My Life with Kevin. Come on. You know you want that. You know you want that showcase. Alright guys, until later. Take care.